I'm not like, that's why I fuck with you, bro. Because you can actively help niggas. Like, you feel me? Whether it's filing a petition. I stay in my lane, bro. You ready, Gina? So welcome back to another episode of Intentional Growing Men. I got right here my boy with me, Dionis Fernandez.
Dionis Fernandez.
The owner, Father Speak Up, one of the dopest movements, the dopest movement right now in New York City or wherever. He's actually actively helping fathers fill out petitions. He's meeting them at the courthouse, just helping them do the step-by-step, day-to-day of you know, trying to get custody or, you know, fight for their kids. So that's dope, bro. Like,
when I made the movement, Father Speak Up, so I started making the movement December 24th, because I was like, all right, I got this big platform, like, what am I gonna do next?
Right.
So on Christmas Day, I took one of my friends with me, like, take a ride with me. He like, wait, I'm like, just come. I went in front of Queen's Family Court, like around 6 at night. It was already getting dark out, and I made a video, you know, like, hey, right now I'm going viral. I got a movement for fathers that are fighting to be part of their children's life, blah, blah, blah. Then I was telling people, like, the reason I made the name Father Speak Up is because I thought about my son. I saw his face, him saying it to me, Father Speak Up, you know? So I didn't do it, Father Speak Up, like, for the fathers to speak up. Like, I don't want us to do it for us. I want us to do it for our children.
So
because
imagine them say,
them saying
Father
that,
speak up, like, Daddy help.
Because a lot of people was getting confused. They're like, Fathers Speak Up, like with the extra S. I was like, no, Father Speak Up, because we all individually, we all going through a certain thing. So it's like your child saying, Father Speak Up and stuff like that. So when I made that movement, then, like I said, I had that interview with the guy that from right there. I was like, I'm going to start interviewing fathers, stuff like that. So when I started going to family court, I started with Queens. Then I think I went to Staten Island. I went to Brooklyn. Every time I went to the family court, I at least found one or two fathers that was willing to speak up about what they was going on, fighting for their children. So right there, it became a movement. Somebody in UK reached out to me, like, all over. I'm going through the same thing over here. That's when my boys started calling me, like, yo, you really viral.
Yo,
like,
bro,
this
like,
is a movement.
you
got
bro.
people on the whole other side of the world reaching out, talking about they support the Father Speak Up movement, because I got people in Cali, a lot of people in Florida, New Jersey, like, this is all over. So now people's reaching out to me because they're like, yo, I never heard of nobody having no type of movement for fathers, helping fathers, nothing like that. So right now, you're the voice for all the fathers, and, you know, I appreciate what you do. And then the more fathers that started doing it, the more fathers and more fathers that started participating, they started speaking up, and then it just became a movement. And then I was like, I love it. Like, you know, I can't see my son, and I'm fighting for him, and there's a lot of fathers doing the same thing. So let's just all get together, be one loud voice, so we could be able to support each other, you know, fight, so we could be part of our children's life. And
that's so dope,
that's what I started doing.
So what is the goal with Father Speak Up? Like,
so, like, the goal with Father Speak Up, like, what I want to do, number one, is I want fathers to get together. I want to see, like, about starting with, like, at least 20 fathers, you know, like, just something, you know, so they know it's a movement. We gotta gather up, do an event, so we could just speak up, break bread, and everybody could just know what's going on, because there's some fathers that's dealing with child support. There's some fathers that only got like 2 days out the week, visits. There's some fathers that don't got no type of justice, so we could just break everything down. Like, if you going through child support, maybe you could speak to these other 5 fathers that's going through child support to see how you guys could work out what's going on with the situation.
Yo, bro, you have to do this, bro.
I'm already, I'm doing it.
You have to do this,
I'm already doing it. And then right now, I went to the auction. I ended up finding a truck.
That's dope, bro.
And right now, the truck that I got, I just did a GoFundMe to see if everybody want to help me support the movement, so I could be able to wrap up the truck with the Father Speak Up movement. Because right now, I don't have an office, I don't have nothing. I'm doing this from the heart, and I love doing it. But now I feel like just for it could be more like certified, I feel like it would look better if I like interview fathers with the truck in the background in front of court, because fathers passing by seeing the truck parked in the front, they're going to be like, what?
Approach, right.
What's this? I'm going through this. There's a movement for fathers, or anywhere is just going to continue to spread awareness itself, because, you know, the cause out there is going to be wrapped up.
It's going to be, you can see it.
Yeah.
Like, so I did notice that you fighting for your son now. You fighting to see your son.
Yes, I got 3 years fighting to see my son.
3 years to see your son. And what's the deal with that? What's going on?
Like the situation with me not seeing my son. I was in my child's life since he was a baby until he was 5 years old. Then I got incarcerated. When I was incarcerated, I used to speak to my son every day. But then when I came out, the mom was making it difficult for me to see my child. She was dealing with somebody else, and I guess he was becoming jealous. I don't really know what happened there, but all I know is that I tried to file a petition, and like we know common friends, I guess somebody told her, oh, he's filing a petition. So she did like an emergency one, did a whole order of protection against me, lied about a whole bunch of stuff, and then once they start saying anything, it sticks, you know? If you go ahead and be like, oh, she did this and this and this, they won't listen to you. But when it comes to a female saying whatever it is, it just sticks. You get arrested. Got arrested like 2 times and stuff like that.
For this, or for something that she said?
Of something that she said. The second time, I actually had the proof time and date that I was at work. It was on a Sunday. I'm actually off that day, but I decided to do some overtime. So I was lucky that I was working and I had proof.
Right.
When I took it to court, the only thing they did was dismiss the case, and they left it like that, you know? So she didn't get no penalty, not in trouble. Nothing. It was just case closed, you know?
It's so foul, because even when my son's mother, certain court date or certain visitations, she would violate. And then I would go back to court, you know, and they wouldn't do anything. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, don't do that no more. And that was it.
Definitely. So me, I got 3 years fighting for my son. I actually put a video out, like, the last time I saw my son, it was already getting hot out. Like, it was like in the middle of March.
And your son's birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday. Yesterday. Thank you. April 5th. Happy birthday to Dionis.
Happy birthday, man.
So, yes, it was getting warm out. So he had his own phone. I FaceTimed him. I actually made a video. I was like, look, Dionis, it's hot out. There's a lot of kids in the park.
Right.
Trying to, like, convince them to go out with me. And he's like, all right, Dad, I'll go out with you, pick me up. We went to the park. We played, had ice cream. I bought him, like, a little BMW bike. And that was the last time I saw him.
How long ago was this?
This was, like, March 23rd, 2021.
You know the exact date.
Exact date.
The last time you seen your son. That's deep, bro.
So then after that, she's telling me I can't see him. I don't know what's going on. Then I passed by his block. I saw his grandmother and his grandfather, and they're like, oh, this is the last time you're going to see your son. Give him a big hug and give him a big kiss. Wow. So I was just like confused. I was just like hug him, kiss him, like not really worrying about what they saying, because I didn't get it. So then when I walked away, I didn't like pay mind to the envelope I had. So when I got home, I opened it, and it was that I got served. I got an order of protection. I can't be next to her or my son. So I was like, what's going on?
How does that happen? How did she just go to the court and just say that you're doing, like, how does that happen?
You know, she just said, my son is scared of me. I'm scared. She's scared of me. I can't get next to her. Nothing like that. So I was just like, wow, I gotta go to court. So this is something I didn't know. When somebody file against you, you need to file too. It's like the cat and the mouse. And a lot of fathers, a lot of people don't know that. So once you get somebody gives you a petition that they filing against you, right? You need to go to court and file against them too. Because if you don't, you're just there for them. And you're not gonna be able to have the right to speak. So once that happens, you gotta file the petition, like, you know? And then if you file a petition, like a lot of fathers, we don't want to take the children's from the mom. So a lot of fathers, when we file for visitations, which is not good to do. Because when you file for visitations, like when it comes to fathers and they like downballing us, what happens is they give you the category that goes under that one. So it'll be on visitation, supervised visits, you know, through Zoom, stuff like that. So if you file for full custody, that from right there, you're able to get the visitations because now you copping out to something, then you get the one that's under it. So that's why I tell a lot of fathers, if you're fighting for your child, always fight for custody so you could be able to get visitations. Because if you do visitations, then you'll get supervised visits because they're already probably speaking bad about the father. Because what happened is, as soon as you're not with the mom no more, like that's it. Like they want things to go bad for you, especially if you're a great father trying to be there for your child. They think they're hurting you, not knowing they're actually hurting the child. So they want to put us through the progress, through the system, and they trying to break us. And we just got to stand on the 10 toes and, you know, just have faith, be positive, and just continue to fight. Because as soon as you take it to court, you just got to fight in court. There's nothing else to do.
And I want to ask you, when you was taking her to court to see us, I know you're still in it now. Do you have that support, like from family, friends? Like, do people support you in that?
Of course.
That's what's up, bro.
Like right now with the lawyers that I've been spending money on, it's hard for me to just go out of my pocket. So my mom's to help me out, my brothers, like, yo, you know, because they know how I am with my son. Like, I
don't mean to cut you off. I went down your post from, like, your Instagram, from years ago. Like, you had all of your posters about your son. Prior to FatherSpeakUp, prior to, you going to jail, prior to anything that you was fighting for, I could see that you were, like, that top-tier dad. Like, with your son all day in the park. Like, I seen it. So I would think that people would want to support that.
Definitely. I motivated a lot of fathers to be fathers, you know, like them seeing me with my kid, me taking him to Disney World on a Disney cruise, you know, like my first vacation I ever took was with my son, you know, so that's something that, you know, I admire, I love it, and I'm glad that, you know, like, let's say if I spend like $7,000 on a trip, you know, then I'll come back home with no money, but at least I was able to experience that time with my son, so that means everything to me right there, you know.
And yo, it's dope that you had that support, because when I was going through it, bro, my family, you know, like people close to me was looking at me like what I was doing was taboo. Because, not to try to shit on anybody or nothing, but it was just unheard of. Like the father taking the mother to court to be, you know, in his children's lives. Like, nobody in my family had done that. Nobody. So it was like, I was by myself. The only person I had was my wife. Like, but as far as like money, I couldn't afford no lawyer. You know, nobody was going to help me with no lawyer. Nobody was coming with me to no court dates. Like, it was nothing. Like, bro, I was so dolo. So it's so good to hear, like, you have that support, because I know what it means to have that type of support.
Yeah, definitely.
That's.
I was supposed to start supervised visits, you know, to see my son. So first we did it through video, and my son said, "Oh, I don't want nothing to do with you. Leave me alone." And then it's like if somebody's right here, like in the background, you know, the mom is brainwashing my child.
I went through that with my son.
To tell him certain things, and then if he don't say, "Oh, I'm taking your PlayStation, you're not gonna go on this trip, you're not gonna do this," so our children start getting brainwashed and manipulated. Like, you need to do this, or this is gonna happen. Now, children, they do have their own lawyers, but then the lawyers, they just go with whatever they say. They don't go by the body language.
No.
And I feel like lawyers just say whatever the child says, because I feel like they'll get in trouble. They be like, "Oh, I think the child is lying," and then it's their job in the line. But I feel like lawyers should like do a little bit more research on the child, and they don't really do that. Most of the time when the lawyer is speaking to the child, the mom will be right then and there, or she'll be in the other room, but she already had prepared him to go in that room. Don't say nothing and stuff like that, because there's no way my son wouldn't love me, you know. So now we're supposed to start doing supervised visits.
Right.
We try to do supervised visits 3 times.
So I'm gonna cut you off. Did they, like, why did they give you supervised visits and not just visits?
They gave me supervised visits because the mom already put an order of protection against me, you know, and then she like, "Oh, he was locked up.
Right.
You know, my child is scared of me," and stuff like that. My son's mother's grandfather passed away. My son's grandfather passed away. So then right there, she said, "Oh, I can't do the supervised visits because the child is traumatized because he was close to his grandfather." And I was like, That's good of a reason. So then when I had to go back to court 4 months later, because they told me once a week for the 4 months, see how it goes, and then from there we'll come back, and then depending what the supervisor says,
right.
then right there we are able to see what goes after that. So then what happened after that was she went back to court. She said, oh, I couldn't go and make it because my father passed away and I had to spend all the expenses, his funeral and stuff like that. So then from there, I was crying because I'm like, look, I got 4 months already trying to find where my son is at, where he's located. I don't know what's going on. Like, who's going to help me? My lawyer is not in my favor. Nobody's in my favor. So when I came out of court, the judge telling me, like, oh, we're going to find out May 15th from December. I was like, 5 months later, and I already got like 3 years without seeing my son. I was already so hyped up that I was going to start supervised visits because I know as soon as he see me face to face, he know everything is gonna
change. Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
So then after that, I was like, what am I gonna do? So when I came out of court, I started crying. I was mad. I had like about $400-$500 on me, and I was like, I spent so much money on lawyers thinking that that's gonna get me some type of justice, you know, with the support from my family and stuff like that, and us paying money with lawyers is still not getting me no justice. So like I took the money and I threw it
up. And that's when I remember
I
that
was
video.
like, I'm like, if the money, nothing is working, like, I was just mad, like, even you spending the money, because I would have thought maybe that would get me some type of justice. I have a great lawyer, and they'd be able to do something for me. So at that time, I'm like, nobody's helping me, so I made a video. I didn't even know I was making a video. Like, I was just so mad, and then I just threw the money, and next thing you know, 1.2 million people saw that